Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips a balance in favor of fair use. So you guys, I found this article. I was doing some research, and because I know what I know, I am not surprised about this. And I do think a lot of these people are pulling one pant leg up and they're into the rituals. But I don't think every single one of them, and I don't think all LAPD do these kinds of abhorrent things. It's dated October 8th, 2022. Very close to Halloween, if you guys get what I'm saying. But not sure if that was it, but they do love that Halloween. An LAPD officer who was killed in a training exercise was targeted, a lawyer alleges. None of you guys are going to be surprised. See, honesty, ethical, and morality type behavior is not rewarded. Los Angeles Police Department officers carry the casket of LAPD officer Houston R. I wonder what his last name is. Tipping at the beginning of his memorial service on Wednesday, June 22nd in Los Angeles, which means I don't think he even graduated, which means he was very young. I don't know what that tipping meant, if you guys get my drift. The Los Angeles Police Department officer who was killed during a training exercise. One, you guys, when and where should that bullshit ever happen? I was in the military. I'm not a military expert. It wasn't my thing. But just common sense. If you guys can't read between the lines, I don't know what to tell you. In what officials call a tragic accident, was allegedly targeted for investigating a gang RAPE. Listen to this, a gang RAPE by fellow officers, according to his family. Do you guys see what kind of filth we're dealing with? LAPD officer Houston Tipping's mother has filed a wrongful death claim against the city. Lawyer Bradley Gage told NPR that the 32-year-old, oh, he's a little older, was deliberately assaulted after submitting reports concerning a female victim, wonder who that was, who claimed she was RAPED by 4 LAPD officers. Filth. I've been telling you guys this. Birds of a fucking feather flock together. Including one who was part of the training during which Tipping was killed. Yeah, how ironic. Do you guys know the vile kind of scum you're dealing with here? I do. They use that training as a cover to KILL him in retaliation for his whistleblowing activity, Gage said. Yep. Isn't that always the MO? Police officers that are supposed to be upholding the law and protecting and serving its citizens, and that's a whole nother ball of wax there. Gang R-ing women. If you guys think that some of these male vile scum LAPD would not do this to one of their female officers, you don't know who these nasties are. Gage said Tipping became aware of the alleged assault when a female victim told him about the attack. We need to blast this all over. Identifying the accused rapists by the names on their name tags. You and I both know full well that those MNFers are still in the LAPD. And they're probably still gang-R-ing women. So would it be any wonder why they would take Streets LA's streaming down? I mean, I'm not saying that those specific officers did that kind of stuff, but we're dealing with some real evil. Identifying the accused rapists by the names on their name tags. See, they weren't even smart enough to take their name tags off. But when you're dealing with demons, that's what you get. They get off on the shit. Tipping immediately began looking into the woman's reports, moving it on up the chain, Gage said. So what did this poor man get? He got ganked. Without a video recording of the incident, accounts of what happened vary. They hate their video, don't they? Tipping, a 5-year veteran and bike instructor with the department, suffered a spinal injury during a practice drill covering self-defense tactics. And where's the inquiry into this? That kind of stuff doesn't happen in these training exercises. I can attest to that because when I was in the military, there are so many precautions and safeties and checks to make sure, to ensure these kinds of things don't happen. But this good human being, this good LAPD officer, got ganked by 4 men who were known to gang our women. Put that in your hat. At a May 26 LAPD training academy, Tipping was role-playing the part of an uncooperative suspect and charged an unnamed officer. Oh, isn't that just a freaking coincidence we don't have his fucking name? The two tussled for a short time before the unnamed officer allegedly dropped Tipping on his head. That's what we're dealing with here, you guys. Causing a catastrophic injury to his spine, according to the department. Inquest. The incident caused Tipping to go into cardiac arrest, and he died 3 days later. That sounds weird. I would say there were people working together on this. And he died 3 days later, having never regained consciousness. Well, guess what? In honor of this brave, decent human being, LAPD officer, I'm going to keep talking about this shit until I take my last breath. An investigation states that 18 officers and 1 sergeant witnessed the deadly tussle. That's what you call cooperation. LAPD officials have repeatedly stated that there was no video or auto recording of the training. This is the vile filth that we're looking at. I'm going to be lighting some candles today. The department did not respond to NPR's request, of course they didn't, for comment regarding Gage's claims about the incident of the alleged sexual assault. Is it any wonder why these same kind of officers are standing outside La Poubelle? Ringing a bell, people? Gage disputes the official account, arguing that Tipping was beaten by several officers who repeatedly struck him in the head and body severely enough that he bled, required stitches, suffered a lacerated liver, and 3 broken ribs. That, my friends, is what you call fucking monsters. Because this officer was investigating a gang R of a woman by other officers. Isn't it interesting that Chief Moore got in trouble for sexual harassment? It's just awful. That's what you call monsters, you guys. And you can't tell me that these effing officers are not out taking out their own when they find out that they're taking money from drug dealers and all other kind of shit. He said UCLA medical experts who have reviewed Tipping's autopsy report concluded that the officer's injuries do not square with the department's version of events. Does not square. It does not square, you LAPD. It doesn't square. Where's justice for this officer Tipping, who was trying to investigate gang R of a woman by LAPD officers? I want to know. I'd like to know if that officer had a wife and kids too. If it happened the way they said it happened, which of course we know it didn't, how did he end up with 6 staples in his head and a lacerated liver? That's because they were kicking him. That's why. Gage asked. That's what you get when you get cowards and pussies and you give them a badge. That's what happens. They gang our women and they kick a fellow officer in the head and in the guts until they lacerate his liver because they want to make sure he doesn't wake up. The only mistake that gentleman made was he should have kept his mouth shut and then brought out the evidence when it was time. Military has a really great way with dealing with soldiers like that. The LAPD has said many of Tipping's injuries were the result of attempts to revive him at the academy. And I don't know which officers were involved, so some of the officers were probably just scared shitless. You know, we can't say every LAPD officer were involved. The ones that were gang R-ing women, you know they were involved. And why aren't there arrests for this shit? The LAPD has said many of Tipping's injuries were the result of attempts to revive him at the academy. Because they probably lacerated his lungs as well. I don't know. Again, Gage claims that is untrue. He said medical records obtained by his legal team show that a Lucas device, which works as an automatic CPR machine, and that was in the training room at the time, was not turned on. So there was more participation than I realized. But I would imagine there were cops that didn't want to be involved. They knew if they did anything, that would be them. And as I said before, you and I both know some of these dirty cops are taking out their own when they get a little too nosy. Had they used the device, it could explain the broken ribs. But we know it was never used, Gage said. Monsters. Monsters that get off on gang R-ing women. Monsters. He added, the LAPD also tried to claim that, that the broken ribs could be a cause of the perforated liver. No, because they were kicking the shit out of him. I bet he had foot, what do you call that? Like boot prints all over his uniform. Where's his uniform? You dirty, disgusting, filthy LAPD. But as I understand it, the ribs were on the opposite side of the liver. Oh my God. Do you know what kind of monsters do that kind of thing? Monsters. And regardless of the differing accounts given by the officers who were present, yeah, because that's what happens when you lie. Gage said LAPD training guidelines state that a person is not supposed to be lifted off the ground. See, that's what I'm talking about. There's protocols, there's checks for these types of things. What is that called? Tampering with evidence? Tampering with the scene of a crime? When you look at all these horrific injuries, the truth is, something went seriously wrong here, he said. This raises a number of questions that the family would like to have answered. LAPD offers an account of the incident to the public. Yeah, kind of like the fake statement that the freaking pathetic cop was giving to the fake propaganda media at UCLA today. LAPD offers an account of the incident to the public. On Tuesday, I don't even want to read this crap because you know it's a lie. On Tuesday, the LAPD presented a report on Tipping's death to the Los Angeles Police Commission. It is the first detailed public accounting the LAPD has offered of the fatal incident. I'm here to tell you guys, I was in the Army almost 6 years. Stuff like this never happens. And I know it's not the police, but it doesn't happen. And I have to say, I think a lot of military people are a little bit smarter than some of the cops. Not all you cops. I respect a lot of you LAPD. I do. I'm not saying all of you are like this. This was not a mob attack. Oh, here we go. I mean, it's so egregious and fake that I want to read it. As has been alleged. Oh yeah, because there's like all kinds of corroborating evidence showing the opposite. Rather, a one-on-one scenario in, oh my, and then like when they lie, they can't even do a good job. Poor Officer Tipping, which was Officer Tipping playing the role as a suspect in order to help officers learn how to deal with that one individual. Elizabeth Rhodes, Director of the Office of Constitutional Policing and Policy. Tell me that's not hypocritical. Told the City Police Commission. You see, when they lie, they all have to be on the same sheet of music. That poor Officer Tipping probably went into this training never knowing that was going to be his last day on Earth. Taken out by his own. That's like the lowest fucking form of worm scum on the face of the frickin' planet. The worst scum. And like I said, the military has freaking something for people like that. The same scenario had been run about 10 times before Tipping took a turn, she explained. Well, wow, isn't the detail just astounding? No video or audio. In the day of the internet, where everything's recorded, but they have no audio or video. And why didn't the DA or anyone else look into this? It's so sad for Officer Tipping. That's what you call a decent human being. And he had to be taken out in KILLED like a freaking animal because he was investigating a woman who stated she was gang-ard by several officers. Rhodes told the commission that Tipping was instructed to aggressively attack a trainee officer, pretending to be a suspect. According to witness reports, the trainee struck Tipping in a leg with a foam baton. Oh yeah, because you know that, foam batons they always end your life, don't they? I should know I've been hit by one. And he reacted, as he was supposed to in the scenario, by going down on one knee to simulate a successful baton strike. Be nice if some of the gangsters did take care of some of these dirty police, to be honest. Because they're just rotten to the core. Tipping did not stay down, according to Rhodes. Lie some more. Lie some more, Rhodes. Officer Tipping then lifted the student officer, from the ground. Sure he did. And the student officer's arm went around Officer Tipping's neck. Oh yeah, that's a great time to, snap it, right? Wrapping toward the front of Officer Tipping's cheek and throat. As the two fell to the floor, you could just tell how fake this account is. Because in those situations, you're not just step by step by step by step. But that's because they think they're above the law. They can gang our women. They can take out decent officers. As the two fell to the floor, Officer Tipping's neck remained in that grasp. Sure it did, Rhodes, you fake scum of the frickin' earth. And that's my opinion, and I'm going to stick to that. I bet you Rhodes is still working there. Maybe somebody can do a little bit of investigation. I bet that little scumbag is still there. And I bet all those officers that are gang-arring women are still doing it. That's what we're dealing with here. Any wonder that they go to La Poubelle to guard it? When people at La Poubelle are openly snorting cocaine there? Just to name one thing. She said it was immediately clear that Tipping, who was struggling to speak, was injured. Oh, this is a woman. Which, you know what? As a woman speaking, it makes it even worse to me. Makes it even worse. It makes me sad. This poor man. Monsters. It's hard to read this. She said it was immediately clear that Tipping, who was struggling to speak, was injured, prompting the officers in the training session to begin first aid efforts. Yeah, from all that kicking him and beating him in the head. It makes me wonder what he was thinking when he was taking his last breaths. That his fellow brothers in arms took him out. The coroner's office determined that this was an accident. No, you're lying. As did the department. Rhodes said, Rhodes, you're lying. It was a tragic accident. Again, we express our condolences. Bunch of robots. The department has made recommendations to improve the bicycle patrol school. Oh, how nice. Are you still accepting psychopaths and monsters into your police academies? including training safety, but Rhodes said the recommendations would most likely not have prevented Tipping's death. Yeah, because you guys took him out, that's why. All the safety in the world's not going to help. And none of you followed safety protocols as you turned your audio and video cameras off. Gage is calling on the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office to launch an independent investigation into the matter. Man, you guys, that was hard to read. So, justice for Officer Tipping. Justice for Officer Tipping. I'll put the link in the description box. Peace.